What's happening, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Flex Files with your man Flex. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining this channel. Shout out to all the old recurring ones that have been since day one with your boy. And we've been growing since day one. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much. Make sure to click that subscribe button below so that way you know when I post new content for y'all, right? Let's get into it, y'all. When is the right time to approach? When is the right time to approach a woman? To approach a woman that you find attractive, that you want to talk to, this and that. You know what I mean? And before people get in the comment section saying, oh, I don't believe in approaching women nowadays anymore. I don't approach women anymore, whatever. Well, I ain't talking to y'all. I'm talking to the men that still be out here, still want to be out in the field, putting in the work, putting in the groundwork, laying out the groundwork, right? And most things in life, y'all, most of the time, things ain't gonna just come to you like that. You gotta go and approach. Unless you a dude that, you know, you got a lot going for you. You are in the 0.1 percentile of looks, which even still, women don't just go off of looks, but you will get their attention and they will approach. But that's not majority of y'all. That's not a majority of men. So you gotta put in the work, right? You got to put in the work and approach. Now, I don't believe in cold approach, right? I don't believe in cold approach, me personally, right? I believe in choosing signals. I believe in a woman showing interest to some degree, right? Cold approach, when you see a woman out in public, you know what I'm saying? With their friends, with their homegirls or whatever, like, I don't really agree with it because, y'all, honestly, a lot of time they just want to be enjoying their time, their night with their homegirls. You know, they don't really want to be bothered with, I thought I seen something, y'all. I'm sorry about that. They don't want to be bothered with just random dudes coming up to them like that, right? Choosing signals is when a girl is looking at you. She's looked at you at least a couple times, 2 to 3 times. One time, honestly, is not even enough. Okay. But that second time where she's really looking, she's really, like that, like you can tell that she's looked at you 2 times or 3 times, and she's kind of like probably even baiting you to come and approach her. Okay. That's when you should approach. And when you do approach, you can be like, I'm sorry, or my apology. I didn't mean to interrupt your night. I just wanted to come over and tell you that you were so beautiful, right? I noticed that we kind of like maybe caught eye contact with one another a couple times. So I thought maybe I would just come and approach. And if my assumptions were correct, I thought maybe you wouldn't mind me approaching you type shit. And you ain't even got to go that far and say, if my assumptions were correct or whatever like that. You ain't even got to go that far and say, you can just keep it like basic and say like, I know I feel like we kind of caught each other's eyes, you know what I'm saying? And we looked at each other at the same time type shit, right? You could say some shit like that. You know what I mean? That's worked for me. That's worked for me. That's worked for, other people that I know, other homies of mine in the friend group that I know of. That's worked for them. And so it's like, okay, like you don't have to try to come off like you cocky or some shit. Like, yeah, I know you was looking at me for real. Nah, I could be like more subtle, like, I was looking at you and I feel like we kind of caught eye contact, you know what I'm saying? So we caught each other looking at one another type shit, right? And you can kind of lead from that. But if it's a cold approach type of situation, chances are, it's not going to work, because she not even, it's like a lot of time women be having their guard up anyways. Hell, women have their guard up even if they were looking at you. Even if they were looking at you and you caught them looking at you, like, and you approach them, shit, they still gonna be on some shit with it, like, yeah, nah, I mean, I'm, and then like kind of feel a little bit more uncomfortable. Because women are, listen, their gender, that's how they are a lot of times. They kind of are always gonna be on guard with shit because it's a bunch of creeps that approach them all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I just feel like if they giving you choosing signals, and if they even, you got some girls, they'll even kind of like look about 4 or 5. They'll keep looking at you the whole night. And if you don't approach them, they'll just leave with their homegirls. They'll go somewhere else to another area, like, and you missed a chance with that, right? That's why you gotta approach. If they give you choosing signals, if they don't give you no choosing signals in this cold approach, I'm not really into that. I don't really advise people to do it because, it's kind of like, it's called cold approach for a reason. You're approaching without any kind of ammo, without any kind of like gestures, that show that she's interested in any way, like without any gestures that she's interested in any way. And that, you're setting yourself up for failure in a way, and it's kind of random as fuck too. You know what I'm saying? And some people do it, some men do it for the sport of it, which is fine, but it comes off as a sense of desperation. And I've talked a lot about men that give off desperate energy. Women don't like men that give off desperate energy. They don't like men who do that. Most women don't. Yeah, you got some women who they be like, yeah, we want the dude to chase and this and that, and they want to be in this soft girl era with it, which is fine. But I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. That shit is dying off, y'all. It's dying off. Because a lot of these women are starting to realize they like, yeah, I'm not even into the dude. I'm not attracted to the dude. A lot of women are coming out here now saying that, they want non-attractive men to stop approaching them. Ugly men or desperate men to stop approaching them. Like, and I feel like we're in the era now where it's kind of like you have to be cautious with how you approach, which is why the men that say shit like, I don't approach women anymore, it's no point of approaching women anymore. I get it to a degree, but you still got to put in the groundwork. So stop being frustrated. These are men that are bitter and frustrated about it and about getting told no. Like, you got to be able to handle rejection. A lot of time the men that are now saying, and up in the comment section saying, I'm not approaching women anymore. Fuck the advice. I'm not approaching women in general altogether. It's not worth it. It's no point. A lot of them are bitter women, just like there are bitter. A lot of them are bitter men. Excuse me. A lot of them are bitter men that are tired of getting rejected, and they're upset and they're angry at women for the constant rejection that they've seen and experienced. It's similar to bitter women towards men and how men have treated them in the past. They're bitter women, right? So as a man, and it's kind of like a little subtopic that I was going to hit on with this video, you have to be willing to get rejected. You have to be willing. And cold approach, that means, yeah, if you do cold approach, you're going to get rejected, so you have to handle that. But you also, not only do you have to deal with rejection and handle that, you have to also learn how to study and read the room. And that's my last point I want to make with this, right? Learn how to read the room. A high value man really knows how to read the room, knows how to vet and see what choosing signals are, right? Take the opportunity of high interest, okay? Meaning a woman that's looking at you up and down, is kind of sizing you up and kind of looking at you, maybe even coming to your vicinity, standing next to you, right next to you, and looking at you again and talking to her homegirls. Chances are she has high interest in you. She's looking at you. And she wants you to approach her. Chances are, it's very high chance of that probability that she wants you to approach her. And it's at least, I'd say, 50% chance, 60% chance that she's going to talk to you. It's not going to be awkward. When you approach her, she's already going to leave herself open, self open for you more than she would for the guy that she won't checking out at all, wasn't looking at all. And he comes and approaches her, and she's like, just completely, like cut off the conversation, or she's completely disinterested, disengaged with the conversation, keeps the conversation short and sweet and light, and it's not trying to have nothing to do with the dude that she won't give in choosing signals to. You see the difference? That's why cold approach is different than choosing signal approach, right? To me. And you got to know how to look and see what these women are doing, and if they're giving you motion like that, if they're giving you choosing signals like that, right? And you got to be willing to take it and roll with the punches of rejection. That's just what come with life. Rejection is life. Sometimes that's what happens. It is what it is. You learn from it, but you exercise that muscle of approaching when they're giving you choosing signals, and probably not gonna give you her number. That don't automatically guarantee that she's gonna give you her number, because she was giving you choosing signals and even smiling at your ass and even flirting with you. But learn to roll with the punches, and learn to develop a sense of to develop a sense of practice. It's a skill. So hey, anyways, look, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Give your thoughts below. Make sure to give this video, if you like it, a thumbs up. You know what I mean? And make sure to click that subscribe button below again, so that way you know when I post new content for y'all. It's your man Flex. I'm out. Peace.